Welcome to the Chicken Tenders segment. We're here with my co-host Zach Lauren, Braden Bijou. My name's Danny Thomas. What do you guys think about the whole Tom Wilson situation right now? Zach, we'll start with you since you're the Caps fan.
I don't have any real thoughts on it other than the fact that, definitely didn't deserve a suspension. Shouldn't even have got fined. It was clean. Nothing wrong happened. Panarin and Buchnevich were fully at fault. Tom's the greatest guy in the world. I've never seen him do anything dirty before. I can't believe people are this mad.
And now the real take.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
If I can chime in, I agree with not suspending him, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been mad if they would have given him like a game or two with a little bit more of a fine, because like $5,000 to him is really nothing. And it's not the point like you want to take money from the player because you want to hurt him, but like there's so many factors that go into that play. Like he didn't rip Panarin's helmet off and slam him. Like it came off in the process of all that. There was already something going on with Buchnevich, and then Panarin hops in. So he's a third man in on the play, putting himself at risk. It's a known thing it's a known thing that helmets aren't put on that tight, and like put your helmet on tighter if you don't want it to fall off. Like it's supposed to protect you from hitting your head on the ice, and quit trying to be cool and not have it tight, I guess. And
I don't think the helmet really plays a factor on anything though. Like,
what do you think it is?
Well, okay. So if he didn't go after Panarin after the Buchnevich thing, I don't think it's that dirty of a play. Like that kind of stuff does happen all the time, but the intentions towards Buchnevich are clear the way that he handles Panarin. Had he not went after Panarin, it's just a play that just happened, but like he did go after Panarin. So clearly he's out there to hurt someone. I don't think the helmet plays a factor though, because like whatever, the helmet's the helmet, it fell off, whatever. He still slammed him and was trying to hurt him. You know what I mean?
Like he got up and searched for Panarin, though. Panarin flew in there as like the fifth man into that pile.
Well, let's say Panarin seen what happened and when Buddy got punched when he was down. I'd probably fly in there too. Not necessarily trying to fight him, just trying to, get the fuck out of here.
Somebody else grabbed Wilson, and then Panarin flew in after that too. Like there was no reason for Panarin to even jump into that. You have a teammate that's already grabbed Wilson after he did what he did to Buchnevich. I'm not justifying what Tom Wilson did either. Don't get me wrong. Like,
I don't think this conversation. I don't think this conversation is being had unless it's Tom Wilson. Like if this is just some random other guy who doesn't do dirty shit all the time, it just happened. Like shit happens. But Wilson's kind of a piece of shit sometimes.
He's Tom Wilson.
Gets his wires crossed. He plays at a high intensity all the time. He's always going to bang and crash and make big plays with his body. That's how he goes. But yeah, like George Parros has been handling things a little questionably lately. Like you guys talked about it in a previous podcast, Thornton's elbow, like he could have gotten a game for that. And McDavid could have, but the whole point of this argument really with Wilson, at least maybe not, it's not the point, but it's at least the picture that's being painted on TV and all the articles you read is this can't be happening to superstars. What if he hit his head on the ice and he had a life-changing injury and all like that? That's all the conversation that I've been seeing in like all the media on my phone and on TV and stuff. And like, it's a really fast, dangerous sport. Like that's a known thing. There's a lot of ways people can have life-changing injuries without Tom Wilson slamming someone into the ice.
Here's the thing. That argument sucks by the media because you could toe pick head first into the boards, boom, snap your neck, done.
Zach, do you remember when Ovi dumped Campbell into the boards?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm just saying, and it's not, and like Ovi's not that type of player. It's a super fast game, and he made a really bad judgment call, gave him a shove, and that looked like you could have been paralyzed crashing into the boards the way he did. And he got
Ovi's
a fine.
definitely
Let's bring it back right quick, though. I think the difference between Thornton and Wilson is that Thornton's like a future Hall of Famer who
Yes.
isn't known for
Hey.
being dirty whatsoever. Like
Mhm.
he hasn't been a dirty player his whole career. Like he stuck up for teammates and fought people and shit like that, but he's not like a dirty player. He's not like compared to like a Corey Perry who's known as a dirty player. But you have Tom Wilson who is, and this is like the fact that he didn't get suspended. Maybe Thornton should have got a game, but if Thornton gets a game for that, Wilson should probably get like 20 after all the bullshit he's been doing. Like realistically, it's
Yeah.
when is he going to learn? When he actually seriously hurts somebody? Like when somebody ends up getting Todd Bertuzzi?
Dan Bertuzzi got like 20 games for that.
Well, what is he supposed to like? I guess you could say like ease up, but like, what is he supposed to do? Like, just not hit someone as hard? Like the only way you
I've
can
played
really do
hockey
that
my
is slow
entire
down.
life. I've never purposely tried to hurt somebody, not once.
No, I've
It's
never
not hard.
purposely
It's not
tried to
hard
hurt
to not try and hurt
Me
somebody.
neither. I've absolutely never intentionally injured anybody while playing hockey.
Yeah, goalie things.
I've
Yeah,
totally
okay, yeah,
never
I've punched somebody
intentionally
with a
injured
blocker,
somebody.
but like
That's
it
not what I
wasn't an
meant.
attempt to injure. Like,
Oh, I've definitely
being a
attempted to injure people.
this is being a player, and I'm not like trying to big game you with like I'm a player and you're goalies. I'm like just like there's so much shit that happens when you're a player, and like being a guy like Wilson, like I said, he just plays at a high intensity. He's kind of a psycho in the sense of like he's not afraid of anyone. He's not afraid to do anything. He'll and like when
well,
he does
Colton Orr
those
spoke
things.
up. Did you guys see what Colton Orr said?
No.
No, I did not.
Colton Orr came out and said, "Yeah, Tom Wilson is like that against teams that don't have that guy." But but Tom Wilson didn't do anything stupid when I was around.
Mm. I seen what John Scott said about it, and like, oh, that made me laugh because John Scott almost like he tried to rip Phil Kessel's head off. And like I listened to his podcast that he put out today, and like I have nothing against John Scott. Just he put out his pod like, oh, if I got him, I was only gonna hit him like once. It's like, yeah, you say that now, but like if things would have been different and you would have gotten a hold of him, and in that moment when you were really, really angry and you're not this calm retired hockey player now with kids and a wife and a stable lifestyle, are you gonna react the same way?
Well, we can't really say because it didn't happen, right?
A quick message to Colton Orr really quickly. You're an idiot, first of all. Rookie Tom Wilson was gonna do that against anybody.
Yeah, it's a different time now. Like Tom Wilson,
He was a
how-
rookie.
How,
Like-
old is Tom now?
I don't know, but either way, he was a rookie. Like a rookie's gonna do that. It's not like Colton Orr's been in the league the last 6 years. Like, shut up. Fucking
Has
3 minutes a
has
night
Tom
kinda guy.
Wilson fought any like quote unquote
Reeves.
goons? He's fought Reeves.
Yes.
Give me a second. I'll pull up his specific fights.
I'm just
Tom
curious.
Wilson
Like
and
I had
Ryan
no idea.
Reeves. Wilson and Reeves had a good battle in their playoff round.
Well, which makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. He didn't back down. He'll do, and like you know what? I agree with you, Danny, where like he abuses his power against teams that don't have that guy.
Hey,
And,
I'm just
like,
saying what I heard. Like
yeah.
I don't watch enough Capitals
Dude,
hockey to be like fully aware.
Danny, he big flexed in the penalty box. You could
That's
see
what I
it.
mean. Yeah.
Like you could,
But
it's
after-
obvious.
That's another thing too. After acting like an idiot, you didn't beat the shit out of somebody like worthy of doing that fucking like what you just beat up Panarin. Like Panarin's I could probably beat up Panarin.
There's all sorts of angles to go at this. Like when you're that guy and you see Panarin coming at you, do you even like waste your time with that? Because obviously you're gonna dummy him. Like
Well, handle him, but
that's the type of guy I am. Where it's like
You-
if you're not worth it, like I'm not gonna do it. And that's for anything.
I think if you separate both these issues, there's no issue. If Panarin goes at Wilson and Wilson manhandles Panarin, that's not an issue. That was a separate thing. If he does what he did to Buchnevich, it's dirty, maybe still the $5,000 fine, but there's no issue. It's combining the two and making like a double, like holy fuck, you're just trying to hurt people.
Yeah, like oh my god, you punched a guy while he was down, and then you picked a guy up and slammed him consistently while his
Yeah,
helmet flew
If
off.
the two aren't
Yeah.
together, I don't think it's a big deal. It's
If
just
this isn't Tom Wilson, you said it before, and that
Also,
was
yeah.
the best way to put it. If it's not Tom Wilson, this isn't a problem.
Well, look at what Sid did to fucking Konechny last night.
People loved it. They weren't.
But
they're not-
Same
nobody
fucking
was
player.
complaining.
Is Sid gonna get a $5,000 fine? And I'm
Sid's
just
not
saying
gonna
this,
get a fucking slap on the wrist.
Sid's gotten fined for shit before. So what I'm saying is if Sid gets $5,000 fine for that, should Tom Wilson not get more? Like, it's a reoccurring thing. Look what they did to Kadri. They took Kadri out of a second playoff series for like barely an infraction in comparison to like other shit that was going on in that game,
And
just
his
because he
career as
got
a
kicked
league.
out the playoffs before. So like, if you're gonna do stuff based on history, then what the fuck? You guys
I'm
dropped the
surprised
ball.
he didn't get suspended because he was suspended earlier this year.
All
Exactly.
of his
my
other
biggest shock.
suspensions have been handled, and then all of the sudden it's just, oh, you're a repeat offender. Okay, here's $5,000 fine.
It's
And that's
almost
The
all.
as
thing
if
is,
it's almost as if George Peros was like, "Oh, the playoffs are starting soon, so we're not going to mess the team up."
it's tough because if he didn't get suspended at all this year, like before, he's not considered a repeat offender. But because he was suspended earlier this year, he's considered a repeat offender.
Has he not been suspended years prior to
It
this?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's 18 months.
Well, it does matter if every
No, it
season you got
doesn't.
a dumb
It
suspension.
doesn't
Yes,
matter.
it does.
As-
Are you
No,
kidding
it
me?
doesn't.
Look at the
Go
Kadri
look-
situation.
Go read the Department of Player Safety rules.
Okay,
Okay,
That's
I'm
how
not
it
talking
works.
about that. I'm going
That's
off
how it
legit.
works. Doesn't
That's
matter
not what
how
I'm
you're
talking
going,
about.
Danny. It doesn't work like that. It works by Department of Player Safety rules. 18 months you have in between things. If there's no infraction, you're not considered a
can't,
repeat
yeah.
offender.
Okay,
If
well,
can't
he
he
didn't
is
get
then.
suspended earlier this year.
Okay, well, he
Yeah,
still
because
is
he was
though.
suspended earlier this year. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying. He
if
should
we're
have been
in
suspended
regular
because
season-
he's a repeat offender.
When is the last season Tom Wilson was not suspended?
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay, and was he suspended the year before that?
The
was
last
coming
suspension
off of
before that
one.
was his massive one.
Yeah, he was coming off one. So then he had all that time for that year that he came back in, plus the full year, plus all the time until he got
Yeah,
suspended this year.
Kadri got suspended back-to-back playoffs. That's less than 18 months.
Agreed, but he got suspended. That's the point.
He's literally considered a repeat offender by the rule.
Yeah, and so is Tom Wilson.
This year,
Yes,
yes.
at the moment he should have
and
been
they didn't use
suspended.
it. They didn't use it.
100%. So that's why I'm using the Kadri as a good example, is
Yeah.
because it's a repeat offense.
Yeah, but everybody like going on like, oh, he's a repeat offender. He's done this, and this. Okay, when they're dealing with someone, they can't go back 4 years and consider that.
But
Is
if
what
you
Zach's
take away-
saying.
If you take away that and you're just looking at it as a fan and not the NHL making the rules and regulations, when Edler need Hyman, for
Mhm.
example, they went back all the way back to the Olympics or whatever, the Canada bullshit, 8 years ago, and we're like, oh yeah, he needs somebody there, and he's also need 2 other people prior to that. So it's
Did
not
they or did Sports Center?
everybody.
Sports Center.
Everybody was talking about it. So it
Yeah,
has,
and that's why fans don't make the rules.
but it's not just the fans; it's also people in the
Well,
media.
this is where their
They don't make the rules
deal-
either.
This is where their TV deal.
But that's
comes
why they're
into
calling
play.
for George Peros to be fired right now, because he's not being consistent.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, he's
like,
terrible.
yeah.
Exactly. That's
Name me
all
the
I'm
yeah,
last
saying.
yeah.
good. Yeah, but here's the thing. Name me the last good player safety guy. Shanahan fucking sucked. The guy before that, Colin Campbell, was terrible.
Every time I think of Shanahan, I go back to Will Arnett's NHL
Pronger
Awards
also
joke.
Pronger fucking sucked.
So
Like, who
stop
else?
getting goons. Get a guy who played good
Pronger
hockey.
was head of player safety.
Not long, but yeah.
I don't mean to say goon, but stop getting guys who played a little bit dirty and get somebody like Wayne fucking Gretzky to do that thing. Like, I'm not saying exactly Gretzky, but get a guy like Yzerman, Sakic, Gretzky, Lemieux, like somebody who wasn't that type of player to play that fucking role.
Yeah, well,
yeah, they
I
definitely
get-
should bring somebody else in.
No, I was gonna say Shanahan was kind of that, but no, Shanahan.
Oh, he was
a tough
dirty-ish.
guy.
He was dirty-ish, yeah, but he was still that kind of player. Like all those guys.
I
you
think
named-
Shanahan was the best one they've had.
No, because all he did was throw out 30 game suspensions for every infraction. Even like you slightly bump into somebody, to 30 game.
You know what though? I bet you come back from those 30 games and you aren't dirty anymore.
That's a good
not-
point.
That's not a thing.
That's
If
a
you're
good
dirty, you're
point.
dirty.
Yeah,
No,
Like,
you
that's
don't
the
want to
thing with
miss that
this.
much time.
Tom
30
Wilson
game
could have been
suspension.
suspended for. Tom Wilson could have got an 82 game suspension for this. He'd still be dirty when he came back.
Is he losing
Doesn't
money?
matter.
Is he not getting paid for those 82 games? Because if he's not getting paid for those 82 games, he's coming back the cleanest Tom Wilson we've ever seen because he wants that paycheck. He's got to feed
He'll
his
be
family.
clean for
He's
5
got to buy a
minutes.
house for his mom and his dad and his grandma and all
Yes,
this
because
shit.
Tom Wilson doesn't have money sitting around.
Well, no, but like
It's still, you live a
it'll
lifestyle.
go.
Whether you make $10 million or $100,000 in a year, a lot of people live to how much money they make. So if you're losing an entire year's salary, no matter how much money you make, it's going to affect your life. Like
Well,
Tom
How do we
Wilson's
know that
still
Tom
young.
Wilson doesn't just live on endorsements though?
We don't know this, but is he
We
going to
don't
have
know that.
endorsements if he's suspended for an entire year? No.
He's already got endorsements
That-
though.
Especially with cancel culture nowadays, Danny, that's such a good point. Where like if he had a massive 82 game suspension, just for example, people would drop him because
Everybody would.
Like I said, this new TV deal they have, it's like the most money they've ever gotten. They're really trying to get fans in the States and grow the sport. And it's really hard for a new fan to come in. And like there's so many things that the NHL needs to work on, not just this. Like the reviewing shit for 20 minutes in a game needs to stop.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard for new fans to get into it and understand
Oh.
what's happening. But like at the same time, hockey is loved by so many people for what it is. And if there's this many people that aren't gonna love it and they haven't yet, like how much are we gonna change the game just to get people to watch it to make money? That's not what like the game's for.
No, I don't think the game has to change at all. It's
Well, they're talking about changing rules where like you can't fucking touch a guy, and like if you get these 3, 4, 5 man scrums, they're gonna start dishing out like multiple suspensions for those people. They're gonna
no,
eliminate
that's
fighting
ridiculous. I just think if your intent is to injure, if you're fighting somebody, fighting is allowed in hockey. If you accidentally fucking break somebody's nose and knock them out for fucking 2 weeks or whatever, shit happens. That's a part of the game. You both chose to drop the gloves.
again.
But if you're gonna be dirty and intentionally try and hurt people in not that situation,
It's up to the NHL to rectify the situation. And like, just for example, if that's at some point he does something stupid, and then he does, okay, he's done it again, guys. Like we're at 10 times now. You're done.
Is intent to injure not a thing in the NHL like it is in modern hockey?
I don't know.
what do you mean?
In minor hockey, intent to injure is a genuine
Penalty.
it's a thing on the back of a game sheet. If you
yeah.
get called with that, you're fucked. Like you're
Yeah.
getting tossed forever. Not forever, obviously, but you're getting a long suspension.
Yeah.
Is that not a thing in the NHL? Do they not give a shit about genuine intent to injure?
I don't know.
They don't think that anybody has it. They think that all the players live by this really good code and like we all understand each other and live the same lifestyle. But like that's a write-off come game time. Come game time, you're in battle, depending on the type of game it is. Battling for that last spot in the playoffs. Game 6, down 3-2. Like there's lots of things that will make you throw out that player code and do whatever you got to do for the 17 other guys that are on the ice with you to win that game and fuck the other team. Like we don't care about them. We're not worried about them. You hear it, like the media is so afraid of that. Leafs media wants Matthews to be sat because they don't want him playing against the Jets that last game.
Yeah.
Like
Which
if the Jets come out and do that, like I want to see the media fucking hollering like they are right now because Tom Wilson did what he did.
in an irrelevant game.
If the Jets come out and intentionally try to hurt guys like Marner and Matthews, and like, well, and then this gets into, well, what's intending to hurt someone? Like, you can't just say because they're laying the body on them, they're trying to hurt them, but who knows?
Yeah, it's tricky. All right. Well, I don't know. Good
Tom, well,
segment.
this is talking about Tom Wilson. This is what it is. There's so many different things and like opinions, and we know that everybody and the NHL hates him.
You guys want to hear something fun?
Sure.
Is it Tom Wilson related?
Yeah.
What's up?
16 of his $31 million contract was a signing bonus.
Damn.
Jesus.
Yeah, it does not matter if he gets suspended for 82 games. He's fine.
If
He's
you're
being
really
paid no
smart
matter
with your
what.
money. If he's really smart with his money, yeah.
Cash that signing bonus in, throw an elbow, get speed for an entire season. Peace out. I'm going to fucking Hawaii.
When you, yeah.
All right. One last quick point. I
Okay.
don't think it matters how much money you make in the NHL, in the NBA, MLB, whatever the fuck. It's all on you, period. Like, look at Evander Kane. I don't want to get into it, but like that guy's broke and makes like 6 million or whatever a year. It happens.
Yeah. You got guys like Evander Kane on one end of the spectrum, and then you have a guy like Gronk and Alvin Kamara on the other end of the spectrum in the NFL, who have not used a dime of the money they've earned in the NFL as
Exactly.
like say they've used endorsements purely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Iverson was a guy who went broke.
Tons of guys go broke. That's why
Shaq went broke and got rich because he learned really quickly and early into his career.
Yeah, he recently did an interview where he was talking about that too. All right, we're gonna wrap this segment up here, just because YouTube and stuff. But thanks for watching this segment of the Chicken Tenders podcast segments. Please subscribe and do all that fun stuff. We're gonna be here for a while. Peace.
Tweet at the Lorax.
It's on my Twitter handle.